UFC Rio is coming up this weekend, and today, guys, I have the complete betting guide with timestamps if you'd like to skip any part of the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. We are going to be talking about the channel betting recap, confident picks, underdog opportunities, fights that I believe you should not be betting on. Finally, we are going to close up the video with a little bit more of the unstructured part of the video, that being looking for any props that are available right now, as well as making any stupid parlays. With that being said, again, timestamps will be there if you'd like to skip any part of the video. Let's get started with the channel betting recap, guys. And unfortunately, we had two bets on the table this time around. We had two bets, and the first one was being Magomed Ankalaev to win for 0.5 units, and then 1 unit on Joe Pyfer to win. I am shocked that Magomed Ankalaev got knocked out by Alex Pereira. I know that Alex Pereira has insanely ridiculous power, right? And that's what you always have to worry about in the light heavyweight division. That's why I didn't go higher, because I actually like the skill set of Magomed Ankalaev to beat Alex Pereira. I was just completely shocked that Alex Pereira won. I thought the same thing was going to happen. I know how difficult it is for champions to get their belt back after losing it. But hey, Alex Pereira ended up getting the job done. And of course, our most confident pick of the entire card, besides Merab Dvalishvili, is Joe Pyfer to win. And Joe Pyfer made me more excited to potentially be betting on Joe Pyfer next time around, because Joe Pyfer now showed that he can overcome adversity. Something that I was worried about for so long for Joe Pyfer was back in the Hermansson fight, he had major issues being the nail in a fight, and we haven't had the opportunity to see if he's fixed that. Now we see that he's fixed it. The dude's ultra dedicated. I am excited for the future of Joe Pyfer. So, unfortunately, we had two plays on the table over here. Magomed Ankalaev didn't get the job done, but Joe Pyfer, thankfully, did end up getting the job done. And of course, we always throw $5 at a fun parlay. I had a gut feeling, if you guys know, if you've been following the betting channel, if you guys have been talking about the full card breakdowns with me, I had a gut feeling on Khalil Roundtree Jr., and thankfully, I didn't end up placing a solid bet on Khalil, and it's a fun entertainment parlay. Merab was literally our most confident pick on the card, but I was saying that if there's anybody in the division that's going to beat Merab, it's Corey Sandhagen. Plus, Corey Sandhagen won me over just a little bit with how confident he was going into this fight, and hey, props to him, because he was talking about how he wasn't going to get exhausted in that bout. He lasted with Merab. It's still very, very impressive from that. But for our official bets, unfortunately, we were just one-on-one. But if you guys have been following the channel, if you're new here, we do have a channel membership, which is very cheap compared to other channels. If you'd like to see what I'm betting on each week, either that, support the channel, combine my fight knowledge with your own research, whatever you would like to do, you can check out the channel membership in the pinned comment description down below, or right next to the subscribe button every single Friday or Saturday morning, depending on whether or not I'd like to bet on any Friday fights. I'll be posting a community members post along with a members only video explaining exactly what I'm going to be doing with my own money. Again, if you did like the support, combine my fight knowledge with your own research, you can check that out. Additionally, OddsJam is a partner on the channel. OddsJam we'll be using as a tool to find any props right now. You can get a discount there with my link in the pinned comment description down below using code Clenbat. With that being said, guys, let's get back into the video over here with the confident picks. And the first confident pick on the card that I have over here is going to be Luan Lacerda. I know both guys are on a skid right now. Both guys have been struggling to find success in the UFC so far, but it's more of Simon Oliveira underperforming like crazy compared to Luan Lacerda, who is at least taking on some good guys, and he's shown potential with his skill set. At this point in Simon Oliveira's career, I just can't put my money to anywhere near him. I'm not going to be betting on this fight, don't get me wrong, but Luan Lacerda is a confident pick of mine on this card. And if you guys are new to the channel, this is a little bit, these betting guide videos, they're a little bit more of a recap on what I think about some fights. If you're interested, I already have a full card breakdown diving into each fight as deep as we can possibly get. Let's get into the next confident pick for you guys, okay? It's going to be Vitor Petrino. Guys, I would be betting on this fight if we saw a little bit more of Vitor Petrino over at heavyweight, but I still do think that he's going to get the job done against Thomas Peterson. Vitor Petrino has the lighter man skill, which is a very real thing. He's a 205er that is actually, and it's sad that we have to say this, but we have a guy who's actually in shape, moving up to the heavyweight division, fighting a guy who, to be nice about it, could be in much better shape. That's already a thing that you could just look at with the eyeball test and say, hey, Vitor Petrino is probably going to get the job done, but he's going to be faster. The power is carrying over. The problem is we just haven't seen him enough at heavyweight yet, but he filled into the weight class very nicely. I don't know exactly what he weighed in, but Tapology here says that he weighed in at 250. That's great for heavyweight. He looked phenomenal. His hands look good. I'm excited for his run at heavyweight, and I think that he's going to get the job done against Thomas Peterson, who unfortunately has been a little bit inconsistent in the division. Vitor Petrino is very promising, and I think that he's going to get the job done. Let's continue on over to the LFA. LFA 219 is also this weekend. The next confident pick of mine, which out of all the confident picks, guys, keep in mind that this is my least confident pick because both guys over here are 2-0, okay? It's going to be Elias Rodriguez. Elias Rodriguez, I've been watching him in the LFA, and the reason that I started paying a lot more attention to him is because he was being hyped up as being a guy who trains closely with Corey Sandhagen. You can see that a little bit in the style, and he's come in since he got into the LFA. He's looked really good. There's like a little bit things like I noticed he was a little bit hittable, but we know how dedicated Corey Sandhagen and the people around him are, and it kind of showed. I can see it. Like, even like I've seen him fight twice now in the LFA, and he's got a really awkward stance. He times his shots really well. I can see a little bit of Corey Sandhagen with him, and this is why they were taught, like, every single time that he was out there, the commentators were talking about how close he is with Corey Sandhagen. Like, he's just looked good so far compared to Dylan Booker, who there's potential there. It's just nothing special. I like Elias to win this fight. So depending on what the odds come out, because at the time of recording this video, LFA doesn't have any odds right now, I'm going to be interested, and if the odds are, like, worth, placing a bet on, that's something I would consider, okay? Let's continue on over to the next confident pick. It's going to be Joel Alvarez. Unfortunately, Vicente Luque is past his prime now. If this was a prime Vicente Luque we were talking about, I'd be having a very different conversation with you guys, but Joel Alvarez has been on an absolute roll in this bout. I don't care, this is a short notice fight. The dude's in his prime. He's been looking good against some good guys. I think he's going to continue that momentum against Vicente Luque, who, unfortunately, I love Vicente, but I don't have too much hope that he's going to go on a run in the UFC while Joel Alvarez still has a lot of fight in him, okay? Joel Alvarez, I also like to get the job done. Now, circling back over to LFA 219, I also like Dasmanov, excuse me if I'm pronouncing the last name wrong, Mavludiov to get the job done. The dude's insanely confident. The dude's been having some good performances. He's very well-rounded compared to Derek Sanders, who has had mixed success in his MMA career, getting up there in age. I like this guy. I like this guy and how he's been performing. I'm confident that he gets the job done, okay? Let's continue on to the next part of the video, guys, that being Underdog Opportunities. These are fights on the card that I'm not necessarily going to be betting on, but if you're looking for value, it would not shock me one little bit if these underdogs got the job done. The first one is going to be Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Karolina, we talked a lot about her in the full card breakdown, okay? She is well past her prime now. She's on a losing streak. I understand that. But she's not done yet, okay? She's fighting Julia Pilastri, who I think her stand-up is so overrated. We like to talk about her Muay Thai skills. And you know what? She can come in there and she's capable of scrapping. But for the two fighters that they are, two stand-up fighters, Karolina's skill set is miles ahead of Julia Pilastri. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And if Julia gets a job done, it's because Karolina's almost 40. If this is a prime Karolina Kowalkiewicz we were talking about, she would destroy Julia Pilastri, and I would actually sit down and I would put money on that fight. Karolina's not done yet. I think they're counting her out, and while I'm not going to be betting on this fight, I'm not nearly confident Karolina to place a bet on her. I'm just saying, these odds are ridiculous. These are incorrect odds for Julia Pilastri. I wholeheartedly believe that. So if you're looking for value, consider Karolina Kowalkiewicz, okay? Let's continue on to the next underdog opportunity, not confident pick. Deiveson Figueiredo. It's one of those classic things, guys, where you have Montel Jackson. He's a surging contender. He's looked good against some really, really great guys and looks like he's going to have some promise in his career. This is the official big step up in competition for him. Will he pass the test? Maybe. He's a great fighter. But how many times have we seen this with guys getting a shot in the rankings, getting a shot against a former champion, getting a shot against the guy the status of Deiveson Figueiredo? Oh, Montel Jackson, it was too early for him. We've seen this story a lot of times, and I think that it's ridiculous to count out Deiveson Figueiredo in this fight. While I honestly, I think it's a close fight and a difficult fight to pick, and if I had a gun to my head, I would say Montel Jackson would win the fight. We cannot count out Deiveson Figueiredo. The dude's an animal. The dude is one of the best flyweights ever. He had great performances at bantamweight as well. I'm not counting out the former champion, okay? Let's continue on to the next part of the video, guys. That being fights that I believe you should not be betting on. The first one's going to be Irina Alekseeva versus Beatrice Mesquita. Skip this fight. It's ridiculous. Both girls suck. I know that Mesquita has some jiu-jitsu credentials, and we've actually seen some good jiu-jitsu credentials from her, but she's fought absolutely nobody. We don't know where she fits, and I'm not even sure that she's going to get past the Rajan Rondo, okay? I'm skipping on this fight completely. I don't want to hear about the jiu-jitsu skill set of Beatrice Mesquita until she comes in and she proves that against a capable contender. I want to see her do it against somebody like at least to the level of like a Veronica Hardy, which doesn't say much, but that division's so weak. I'm nowhere near touching this fight, okay? Let's continue on. Janata Diniz versus Mario Pinto. It's more so of the step up in competition for Mario Pinto. He looks very dangerous. The dude is a very scary, scary knockout artist. This is a step up in competition for him big time, and we kind of know where Janata Diniz fits in the division now. He's a very, very good kickboxer, a very crisp kickboxer for the division. Can Mario Pinto get past Giannotti? If he wins his fight and he just steamrolls Giannotti Diniz like he's been doing, then I think it's time to put some money into Mario Pinto, saying, okay, you know what, this guy might be a problem in the UFC. I'm not ready to say that yet. For that reason, I believe you should be skipping out on this fight as well. And finally, for the final fight that I do not believe you should be betting on is going to be Charles Oliveira versus Mateusz Gamrot. First of all, this is a short notice fight for Mateusz Gamrot, a very short notice fight for Mateusz Gamrot. He came from overseas over here. I know that he was already booking a plane ticket, but that's a little bit besides the point. Mateusz Gamrot, we have no idea what kind of condition he's going to be coming into this fight. We know Charles Oliveira can run 5 hard rounds. At what level in shape is Mateusz Gamrot right now? He's just exiting his prime. That's worrisome in general. On the other side of the coin, we have Charles Oliveira, who just about 3 months ago, against Ilia Topuria, got knocked out cold. You always have to worry about how a guy's going to recover about that. Charles Oliveira is almost 36 years old now. The miles on his body is ridiculous. The day's going to come where, one, we see Charles Oliveira well past his prime, which we might have already seen in his last couple performances, but the day also might come where Charles Oliveira's chin just doesn't work anymore. Thankfully, he's fighting Mateusz Gamrot, who kind of has pillow hands, but you never know. You just have to worry about Charles Oliveira coming back in after actually getting flatlined like that, because we've seen a ton of times throughout Charles's career. You knock him down, he gets back up, he comes back with a vengeance. He finally got put out completely. Are we going to see any sort of hesitancy from Charles Oliveira, because he's had so much success in his career from just crashing with people that you have to worry about that? Is he going to be hesitant to do that with Mateusz Gamrot? On top of that, Charles made a big deal about this fight and how he didn't want to take this fight. There are a lot of red flags for this fight in general when it comes to a pick. I am putting my money nowhere near this fight. Maybe for a fun entertainment parlay like we do. Just throwing $5 at something to make the card more interesting to watch. If that's the case, I would lean towards Gamrot. But for anything serious, there's too much going on with this fight. I don't think that you should be betting on it at all. With that being said, guys, let's continue on over to Lock of the Week. For the Lock of the Week, the fighter on the card that I believe has the best chance of winning out of everybody on the card is going to be Walter Walker, guys. I like the role that he's been on right now. And while I still do have questions about Walter Walker when it comes to any sort of top contender in the heavyweight division, the dude's been coming in. He's been looking in better and better shape every single time that we've seen him. And if we take a look at the recent win streak that he's been on, first of all, how often do you see a heavyweight with the skill set of his where he can come in and he can actually submit people? That's great. He's strong. The takedowns look good. The first 2 wins, Junior Tafa, Dontel Mays, it says nothing, okay? He just did the same thing to Kennedy Nzechukwu. And Kennedy Nzechukwu himself has been on his own roll at heavyweight. The dude has been looking good. He's a very, very capable fighter. That's the win that I needed to see for me to go, okay, Walter Walker, looks like you're a contender here. The cardio issue is still something that's up in the air and we still worry about. But he's been showing up in much better shape than since he's had that cardio issue. So if I had to guess, that's been fixed. But I still do think that he's just going to steamroll Muhammad Usman. You have Muhammad Usman, who has been very inconsistent in his career. I know he's had close decisions, but he's never really been dangerous ever. He kind of comes in, he kind of stays on the outside, throws shots, and he doesn't really have power for the heavyweight division either. So I'm not worried about Muhammad Usman knocking out Walter Walker. I think that he's going to circle until he eventually gets taken down, and Walter Walker is going to kind of do what he wants for him. That's how I see this. Plus, Muhammad Usman, he's 36 years old. He doesn't fight at all like his brother. Walter Walker is arguably better than his brother. I think he's going to get the job done. Obviously, it's a heavyweight division. Anything can happen, but out of all of the fighters on this entire card, my most confident pick is going to be Walter Walker. Now, guys, let's continue on over to the more unstructured part of the video. Let's take a look over at OddsGym and see if there are any props that we can bet on over here, okay? There's really, you have over 1.5 for Vitor Petrino, Thomas Peterson. I don't like that. The under is at plus money. Thomas Peterson's a pretty durable guy. I don't really hate that one. You have the under 2.5 for Pinto and Janice. If you're a believer in Mario Pinto and he can get the job done, maybe you could have an under there right now as well. Montel Jackson, Davison Figueiredo is also a tough one. What else do we have over here? Mateusz Gamrot, Charles Oliveira. Over 2.5 at minus 133. Do you think that Gamrot's going to come in? Do you think Gamrot's going to be able to just take him down for a couple rounds? Charles Oliveira has looked really slow in his past couple fights. Maybe that could go over. Plus, you have 2 really, really tough guys. I don't mind the under for Vicente Luque, Joel Alvarez at minus 110. That's a toughie, but there's nothing that's sticking out to me that I personally would bet on. Clayton Carpenter versus, if you're looking for a round line that'll go up, like over 1.5, if anything, I like to bet on over 1.5s. I don't like under. Clayton Carpenter and Jafel Filho. I like to go over 1.5. It's one of those fights where you have two really, really tough contenders, really great guys with good futures going up against each other. I think they're going to clash, and especially if we get to see some awesome grappling exchanges, I don't think that one's going to finish the other. I like that one for over 1.5. But let's continue on over to the fun parlay. It's not fun parlay section, just, again, another unstructured part of the video, the parlay section. Now, if you are new to the channel over here, something my sister and I do every single weekend is we put 10 cents on every single underdog, guys. And I don't know how it's going to pay out this time around. One time in Bellator, we were almost millionaires. We almost got the job done. Let's see what we get for 10 cents this time around. $43,000. One day, guys, one day. But let's make some picks. What if we pick the entire card over here, okay? We're going to pick Gamrot. We're going to pick Jackson, Alvarez, Deniz, Ramos. We're going to pick... Oh, this one's tough, too. We're skipping those fights. We're going to pick Clayton Carpenter, Vitor Petrino. We're going to pick Rocha, Walker, Carolina, and we're going to pick Luan Lacerda. That is way too many fights to get 10 in a row like that. Something is bound to go wrong. I don't like this card very much in general for betting, but if you're looking for something like, if you want, let's see if we can get double your money, okay? We're going to pick Walter Walker. We're going to pick Vitor Petrino. Oh, heavyweight bouts, eh? That's tough. You top it off with Jonathan Deniz. No, if anything, you top it off with Joel Alvarez if you really want to get your money. I still really hate MMA parlays, and I have a fun and entertainment parlay as I showcased at the beginning of the video. That is just to boost my enjoyment for watching these fights. I hate MMA parlays. There's always something that is bound to go wrong. With these three, I guarantee you, come back to this video, something will go wrong with these three picks, because I would imagine a lot of people agree with these three picks that I'm talking about over here, okay? I don't mind this. The two-leg parlay, you get almost double your money, Walter Walker, Vitor Petrino. There are a lot of really, really, really tough ones to bet on, but if you're set on a parlay, this is something that I would like. But if you want to talk a little bit more about these fights, check out the full card breakdown on screen right now. I would love to have you over there. Thank you for watching, guys. Take care, everybody.